So it's safe to say that it's been a pretty rough couple of years for Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters. The loss of Taylor Hawkins, also emerging with the loss of his mother. But here we are, is their 11th album. It's safe to say that there are a lot of themes of loss in this one. Hello, Al. Welcome to the show. What was your initial take on all of this?
Yeah, good morning. People deal with grief in a lot of different ways, but I've got to say that the Foo Fighters have come out and absolutely, like a phoenix out of the fire, mate, smashed it out of the park and created what I think is their best album in probably 20 years, since There's Nothing Left to Lose. I enjoyed it from start to finish. There's no duds, there's no filler. It's under 50 minutes. It's an absolute dedication to Taylor Hawkins. There's everything you want in the comeback album of the Foo Fighters, my friend.
Look, I definitely agree. I think it is a very solid, we call it a comeback record. I mean, they have been around, but I think that it is definitely a new configuration, and that, I guess, comes with different things that they might come up with. Now, looking at our top tracks, what did you come up with there?
I'd have to say my number one track would be The Teacher, just under 10 minutes. It's dedicated to Dave Grohl's mum, and it's got everything you want from start to finish. It's a bit like Everlong for me. Like, it's that kind of track towards the end of the album that you just go, why wasn't this up earlier in the piece? Comes in at my number one. Some other highlights for me, mate, are Rescued, the title track, absolute fantastic song, as well as Beyond Me, a bit of a softer song. Hearing Voices, which is a real absolute classic, coming in at track number 4, and last song, Rest, which kind of starts to ease off towards the end of the album.
Very good. And actually, I've probably got two very similar ones for me. So The Teacher is certainly my favourite track. It's about the loss of his mother. It's got very much sort of prog rock influences, you can see, so maybe this is the direction that they're heading into. I also like the song Show Me How, which is a duet between Dave and Violet Grohl, Dave's daughter. Now, Dave's daughter, Violet, is 17 years old. She is certainly singing beyond her years. I'm very interested to hear what she has to come up with as soon as she makes a career of all of this, because I certainly think that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so it seems. In terms of other tracks, I mean, it was very difficult to fold or come up with a top 5. The first 3 tracks, I think, rounded out my top 5. I enjoyed them all, and did it remind me a lot of The Colour and the Shape, which is the album that the Foo Fighters came out with just before Taylor Hawkins joined the band. I guess moving on to the next topic, I guess we're just a reflection of the passing of Taylor Hawkins, the unexpected passing of Taylor Hawkins. Is this the opportunity for the Foo Fighters to spawn a different phase in their career?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting time for the Foo Fighters. I mean, they're not the first band to have a band member pass away or go missing. Say, take like the Manic Street Preachers, who lost Richie Edwards after the release of the Holy Bible, went on to kind of strip everything back and go in a completely different direction and completely changed that particular band, and they're still kicking on now. To be fair, they were only 3 albums in. Foo Fighters, this is their 11th album, so they're quite a way through their career to have such a tragedy like Taylor Hawkins passing away, but I think they're going to do it really well. And what I think they're going to do is not only just continue their momentous kind of stage shows that they've been famous for, but I think in terms of their records, they're going to start collaborating a lot more. That's my kind of sneak suspicion. But I think they just stick to what they're really good at, and it keeps the fans coming back, mate. I don't know. I'd be interested in your thoughts in terms of where they're going to go kind of after this album, especially because this album is such a huge epic listen.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I like that you probably, it'd be interesting to see if creatively they end up becoming a spent force. I mean, after 11 albums, it becomes difficult to contain the rage, so to speak, but such a massive life event as to the loss of your mother, as well as a really critical member of the band, it does spawn emotions, and that they're the types of things that artists over a long period of time have used as inspiration for really good material, and you can sort of see that coming out, that this was a very personal album for Dave. He didn't make it too dark. It wasn't necessarily about all the doom and gloom. There were positive reflections you could see from what he was writing, but whether or not this is the last roll of the dice creatively will be interesting to see. I agree with you. I think you'll see them touring forever and a day. They'll be a popular act for years and years and years. They'll probably be outliving the Rolling Stones. Let's just sort of see if that happens or not, but it will be interesting to see if we see another album quite like this one from the Foo Fighters. Okay, so that is, I guess, our reflections on things. Let's get to the important end of the show and give it a rating. So 5 stars, mate. What are we going to say?
Oh, geez, it was pretty close to 5 stars for me. I'm going to give it 4.5. I've got to say that Dave Grohl's voice is still holding up so well. I'm just really stunned at just how good this album is from start to finish. So it's 4.5 stars from me.
Very good, and it's 4.5 from me as well. I couldn't really fault the album. It's probably one of my more enjoyable Foo Fighters albums. As I said, since The Colour and the Shape, that was my favourite album from the Foo Fighters catalogue. Very interested to hear if this is it or not, just as we've discussed, but 4.5, very solid effort, and I think will be in a lot of people's albums of the year. So that is our review of But Here We Are by the Foo Fighters. That wraps up another episode of Indie Miners. Please look to subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, and let us know if there's an album you would like us to look at. So until next time, bye for now, and thank you for watching.